Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun.
Nick Collier here, and today we're going to go ahead and spin this head around, bring up the jumping jack on the back side of this mill, and use it for the first time. Well, that is if we get to it. At this point, it's going to take a while to set up, and we may run out of digital room before we get that done. But, you know, hang in there, we'll have some fun. Well, as you can see, well, one thing I wasn't prepared for is my dividing head is too tall. So at some point I've got to bring this head down so that it's, you know, it can do projects with the shaper head. But for now, I think what we have to do is pull the dividing head and put the rotary table back in, and we're just going to have to calculate, let's see, 10 into 360 would be 36 degrees each time. So it'll be a little more difficult, but you know, it'll work, whereas this is not going to work. So back to the drawing board. Okay, so we're starting with our bit, not the actual cutting bit, but the holder itself, which slides inside, and we'll slide that up all the way up and cut it and lock it in, and then I can see probably we've cut it off right about there. We're not going to be going too deep on this. Looks like about, oh, I don't know, 300 thousandths or so. So we can cut it off there and put a bit in there, and I think we'll have it set up and ready to go. So let's take that out. Take it over to the saw and cut that in half. All right. Let's take her down. All right, well, before we do anything, we need to build some bits to cut this spline that we're going to cut. So what I've done is I've come in with an old bit that I had laying around. We're going to cut right down the center of this and create a relief for a tool bit to go into. So let's go ahead and turn some stuff on and see what kind of throw we've got here. Well, it's going to have plenty for the moment, but once we get to that other side of that cone, it's going to be a little less. So let's go ahead and take it up a bit. There we go. Make sure we're nice and snug. Yep, we're good there, we're good there, we're good there. So I think this thing seems to be traveling pretty slow, but maybe that's as slow as it should travel. We're taking 10 thousandths per, well, it's 5 thousandths. Alright, I think we may have overamped our... Yeah, we did. Sure enough. Okay, I think we have a groove, although we missed it in a little bit. But we got ourselves a groove. We'll just trim off the excess out here. And I believe in order to get in there, yeah, this is too big for the hole. So we're going to have to trim off some of this perimeter and in order to get it to go through the hole and cut at the same time. So, oh, that's going to be tough. All right, but we can handle it. That didn't exactly cut straight, did it? Well, I'm getting used to the tool. You know how it goes. Well, okay, the first approach to this process, it didn't really work, and I thought about it all night. Actually, I was going to just chuck the whole thing and go another direction, but this morning, you know, early in the morning, you know how it is. Your brain is constantly working it, and I think I came up with an answer. And what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of cutting a slot across the holder, we're going to cut it down one side of the holder and put a bit in that's fairly long, so that only the bit goes into the hole, and that way it will be there'll be enough room to cut it. So we're going to get started on that, and follow along. We'll have some fun. All right, well, before we do anything, we need to cut a relief in the back at the bottom of the cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill a small hole about halfway through the shaft here. And we're just, you know, just going to wing it, so it's not going to be a super important except we can't get the thing to center up. So maybe come in with a small center drill and go to the other drill. And of course that side's the side that's got the broken tip on it. This is a good way to start the day. All right, let's do this again. I'm thinking we go, oh, at that depth at the most. And that's a little bit off, but oftentimes I can just kind of rotate the work and get it more on center. Now that's pretty good. Little larger drill bit. And I see it walked off just a little bit the other way, so just rotate it back. Bit further. I'm thinking that's plenty. Let's go back to the mill. And we could be real accurate here, but we don't need to be. We just need to get it reasonably centered, and we'll go from there. I don't like that. I think we just had a tree fall on the building. I'm going to go out and have a look at it. So we're going to get this somewhat centered, just eyeballed. And then let's turn the motor on and see what our depth is going to look like. Okay, we got a stroke going. It's not quite deep enough, so we're gonna come back up a little bit. I'd say that's just about right. Okay, we're touching. Put a little oil on everything. Well, that didn't exactly work now, did it? Not bad though for just the beginning. So, what kind of support can we put in there? Alright, well I couldn't find anything, so I think what we're going to have to do is take one of these slugs and turn it down, but I want to make sure that I'm long enough. And long enough would be just about 3/4 of that. And that is definitely not long enough. Alright, something a little bit longer. We'll be back. Okay, so we turned down a slug that's going to fit just about perfect. It comes just slightly under the level of the vise, and we'll put our piece back in, close up the vise. Turn on the mill, turn on the jumping jack, and hope that everything is about where it should be. That looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks a little bit sideways on each side. Probably, let's see how much it's going to have to go. So we're at 1775, and we want to go to 250. So So 75 more, so 35 per side. And we want to be at 0, so that's good. And we're going to take the full 35. Okay. Made it. Okay, the rain's really coming down now. And that's a pretty good cut. Let's see how the bit fits. Fairly well. A little bit tight, but I think I can just kind of fiddle with that a little bit. We might have a burr in there or something right on the edge here. Let's go over and get this bit to fit and see what we can do. All right, so we're just going to come in and see if we can pull some burrs off of here. I mean, we're very close. And the other thing we can do is just trim the bottom of the bit itself a little bit and get that to fit in. It feels like it's a taper. All right, we cut it in half. Now we just break off that last little bit. It's hotter than a pistol. And drop it into the slot. And now it's time to go silver solder this into this. So we will be back. All right, we're in the jeweler part of my studio where the silver solder is. And we're gonna take a little flux here, or a lot of flux actually, and just flood the thing with flux. put our bit in place. There it is. Looks pretty good. Let me go turn the tanks on. Crank up the gas. Now we have all kinds of Jeweler's pure silver solder, but I also have some of this probably about, oh, I don't know, 15-20% silver, which is perfect for this kind of industrial use because pure silver is a little bit soft. Well, not pure silver, but more pure. So I always come in and clean my solder with a steel wool just to get some of the scunge off it, mainly because it's been sitting around for years. And okay, let's crank it up. All right, the flux is starting to get a little bit bubbly. That means we're coming up to temperature. We haven't quite gotten there yet. When we get there, the flux will turn clear. You won't see it. You see, it's just starting to turn clear now. So I like to come in and just put a little dab of solder in, just to kind of test it. When the solder starts to flow, I know I'm up to temperature. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a flow on the solder on the bit itself, but not on the shaft. So I'm going to concentrate my heat over onto the shaft a bit. Now it's starting to flow on the shaft. See it? Well, not quite yet. Soon though. There we go. Get my other solder in. Flow in a bunch of it. Turn the piece around. Flow a bunch of it in on this side. That should do the trick. Heat everything up until it's ready. There we go. Come on, flow in there. Like you're supposed to. We may have gotten it too hot and now it's contaminated. All right, we're going to let it cool a little bit and put some more flux in there. Now at this point, it's too hot to take liquid flux, so I come in and just break off a piece of the dried stuff right there. Drop that right on target. and get that to kind of melt in a little bit. Let's see what that's going to do. Come on. So somehow that front area has gotten contaminated. I think we have enough here to get us through where we want to go. So we'll just let that cool its jets. And the other side is well done. So we got just a little bit of contamination on this side. What about underneath? I think we're in pretty good shape. Oh, no, we're not. It's too hot to be messing around with it. See, the solder is all flexy. Okay, but we know we've got a good take on the inside. See, the solder is well melted there. Okay, so now we should have just let it sit for a while. I'm going to cool that. I don't know, it looks pretty good. Cruddy as hell, but looks good. We'll just take this back up to temperature till the solder starts to melt. Drop this in place if we can. There we go. Let it chill a little bit. Ah. Push down. Get that solder to pull in. There we go. Okay. Now this time we'll just let it sit.